I cause I'm born. The Hampton Farms.
I'm Amelia. Today we're going to share, what are we going to share with them?
The blocks.
Your blogs. Let's tell them some things that we do on our farm that...
I built the castle.
Oh, yeah, you did. That make things a little bit more
I
efficient.
knocked it over.
Speaking of which, apparently Andrew just broke the barn door. We're going to talk to you guys about things on our farm that make our farm more efficient. One of those things is the tractor. We have always had a tractor on our farm, and I think if you have a significant amount of land, a tractor is probably a must. We have 24 acres. We mow that and we're gonna do hay on it starting this year, but before we had it for pasture for our animals. A tractor is just one of those things that you kind of have to have if you're gonna do any hay or moving fencing and stuff like that. A tractor is definitely a good tool to have if you plan on farming a larger piece of land. A few more things that I think are helpful here on our homestead that we do. Andrew and I have very specific roles when it comes to the things that we do. I do all of the cooking, I do all of the cleaning, I do all of the gardening, the majority of the gardening. This year he did help with planting because I was 9 months pregnant, but other than that, I usually handle everything that has to do with the garden, which includes planting, any sort of soil maintenance, pest control, watering, all of that I do. Animals, I have taken over. Andrew typically does a lot with the animals because he's just a little bit better handling them. Now that I am home full time, I have been taking care of all of the animals, which is great. I have a stage 5 clinger of a turkey. It literally follows me around everywhere I go. Since we got the goats are my responsibility. I do sell all of the eggs. I do all of that. So I talk to all of our customers. I'm the one who collects the eggs, puts them in the curtains, and sends them off. Andrew's responsibility is really all of the property. So he does all of the maintenance when it comes to machinery, building stuff, anything that has to do with the tractor, that's all on him. When we get animals that need to be butchered, that's all on him as well. He takes care of our meat chickens. He actually butchers them himself. The pigs, he took care of all that too. We also have a reliable water source in the barn, which I suggest that's a must. If you're gonna have livestock, having a reliable water source in your barn by the animals is extremely helpful. We live in Pennsylvania, so it gets really cold. So we also have a heater hooked up to our water source so that it doesn't freeze, and that's something that we've learned. I think our first year here, we were carrying buckets of water from the house to the barn to give to the animals, and that didn't work. This turkey will not stop, so it is what it is. Are you telling him to stop, Colt? Yeah. Have made our barn into kind of like a common area. So as you can see, all of the animals hang out together. We don't really separate our animals. We had to separate the pigs, but that was it. But that's really helpful because we just have everyone in one common area. So feeding, watering, all that stuff becomes pretty easy. And we've been really lucky where we haven't had to deal with the animals really like fighting each other. They all just kind of hang out together, get along. The one thing that we do have is half of our barn is actually a chicken coop, and that is completely fenced in except for, you can see there's like a little door here. There's a big door that we can get in, feed, water, but that little door for the chickens, the goats and pigs obviously cannot get into that. So that has worked out so that the goats and pigs aren't eating all of the chicken feed that we have set out for the chickens. Because of the way our barn's set up, we have to have these drums for our food. We don't really have like a blocked off area that we can just leave like bags of food. So if you're in the same situation where your barn's pretty open, these drums have been really, really helpful. They come with a lid that locks onto it so the goats can't knock the lid off and get in there and eat all of the food. Our goats are still too little and not strong enough to do that, but You want to go in the chicken coop?
Yeah.
But those have been really helpful to keep the feed in. It keeps it nice. We can put, I think, 400 pounds or 300 pounds of feed in each barrel, and we have 3 barrels, so we can get a lot of food at once. We don't have to run to the food mill constantly, which has been really helpful for us. We don't live right by the food mill, so you know, getting back and forth isn't the most efficient. So being able to get a large amount of food and be able to store it for a good amount of time is definitely helpful. Another thing that has made our lives easier on the farm is having someone who does all the work. Get yourself a man who does the work. Earlier I mentioned that I am in charge of the egg production, all of the things to do with the eggs. I can touch base on some of those things, and I know if you're a newer homesteader, probably the first animal you're gonna get is gonna be a chicken, so I wanna really focus on that to help you guys understand some systems that will help you when you start out. Again, you wanna have a water source near your chickens. We were lugging water back and forth when we first got our animals, and that was not, it made life so much more stressful than it needs to be. Large feeder are very important. For us, I like to get the biggest feeder we can, fill that up, and also fill up their water so I don't have to do it every day. And I'd say the last thing that makes our farm run well is a routine. Whether, again, that's feeding in the mornings, in the afternoon, whatever it is, just create yourself a routine so that you know what to expect each day, your animals know what to expect each day, and those routines are going to change throughout the season. Your routine is going to be what makes or breaks your success. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I hope this is helpful. I'm sure there's so many things out there that I missed, but thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.